Good Sunday evening, everyone. My name is Caleb here with Indiana Weather Network, Indiana Weather Online. We are live here for the duration of this event. Um, we were monitoring radar here behind the scenes, but as the amount of hail reports keep coming in, we have decided to go live here for this event. This is mainly a hail event here tonight. A lot of these storms are elevated, meaning their cloud bases are a little bit higher. We have a lot of elevated instability to work with. So the plus side and minus side to that is that the tornado threat tonight is pretty much zero. We aren't expecting any tornadoes tonight, but that'll also help minimize the damage and wind risk here tonight as well. However, hail is a big story of the night and will continue to be the main story tonight across Indiana. I want to draw your attention to Blackford County, Indiana, near Hartford City. We saw some quite large hailstones fall there about maybe a half an hour ago, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes ago. Very, very large hail reported there in Hartford City. These storms continue to move right along the cold front. The cold front is actually just south of these storms, draped right about this. This is our cold front, and these storms are actually north of the cold front. It doesn't happen very often, but the environment that we have here across Indiana currently supports elevated thunderstorms north of the cold front, but this allows these storms to work with elevated instability, but also a lot of cold air associated with them as well. This is perfect for hail producing storms, and that is what we have here. A lot of these storms are warned for quarter size hail, as well as winds 50 to 60 miles per hour. However, not a lot of wind reports being picked up across the state. However, torrential rainfall and hailstones ranging from pea size hail all the way to about ping pong ball size hail, or perhaps a few larger stones reported near Hartford City. One of the stronger storms moving into the Portland County, northern Wayne County as well, or Portland County, Jay County, Indiana, Portland, Indiana, in Winchester, Indiana. These storms are not moving overly fast. However, torrential rainfall, quarter size hail, with perhaps a few larger stones mixing down at times within these storms as well. As I go ahead and hit play here across the radar, you can see these storms are moving generally west to east along our cold front. Our cold front is currently moving south to north, but our storms are moving west to east. Temperatures are falling across the state. We're in the 30s across northwest Indiana, but still in the 70s across central and southern Indiana. However, if you're north of these thunderstorms, you're likely have your furnace running right now. It is cold and temperatures are dropping very, very fast. We're going to see temperatures dropping 30 degrees in about 3 hours for some areas, and some areas have already seen that here today as well. Another thing, these storms are loud. There is a lot of lightning associated with these storms as they're moving across the state of Indiana. So these are very noisy storms, but also producing torrential rainfall as well as hail, anywhere from pea size to about quarter size. With a few reports, we've had up to about $1.50 or so, close to ping pong ball size hail, if not a few larger stones mixing down there in Blackford County. Had a brief storm there intensify a little bit ago, about 25 minutes ago, pushing about 30 minutes ago for that area. Hartford City there in Blackford County, not entirely in the clear yet. We're going to have to watch these storms from Howard County, Tipton County, as well as Grant County. I'm going to have to watch these storms here. They're moving more west to east, so not in the clear yet. However, if you are north of this line, if you're watching from northwest Indiana, like let's say Fort Wayne, Indiana, Logansport, Lafayette, and points northward, you guys are good. Go to bed, enjoy your evening, go back to watching basketball. You guys are good to go. If you're south of this line across central Indiana, generally south of US 24, watch the radar. Could still have some thunderstorms. We have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. Go ahead and toggle it on for you to show you who is currently in our severe thunderstorm watch. We do have, let me go back here. Here we go. I'll go ahead and turn it on here for you real quick. Severe thunderstorm watch. There we go. Well, maybe. There we go. All areas in pink here are under a severe thunderstorm watch. So generally along in south of US 24, but also central Indiana, southern Indiana. We do expect some gradual intensification, but we're going to have to keep an eye on these storms as well. We're not really sure how intense these storms are going to get as they move south, being north of the cold front. The severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for another 4 hours here. For 2-inch size hail, that's tennis ball size hail, as well as winds up to 70 miles per hour. However, personally, I think the hail threat is greater than the wind threat. with this scenario. And that's because we have a temperature inversion. Given that these storms are north of the cold front versus south of the cold front, they're going to be elevated in nature. That'll help keep a lot of the winds aloft and not mixing down to the ground. Now, we could have a few instances, especially microbursts. If we have intense downbursts, we could have some winds perhaps reach 60 to 70, but widespread severe wind gusts not quite expected here this evening. Hail is going to be the bigger story here tonight. We've had hail reports from penny size, pea size, all the way up to about $1.50 or so, ping pong ball size hail, if not a few larger stones. Yeah, my thoughts exactly, Hannah. I'm not a fan of these temperature drops either. Welcome to March Madness in Indiana, not just for basketball, but also March is notorious for these intense temperature swings where you have early spring and winter kind of battling it out. So March is notorious for these wild roller coaster events and these strong cold fronts. So very typical March-like pattern. But the good news is, spring and summer will be here soon, and all of this will be behind us, and it'll stay nice and warm. But we're not there yet. We do have to get through this a little bit here. Going to our storm I want to talk about here, this one has probably one of the better hail cores associated with it. Let me go ahead and turn on our hail tracker here. This is called correlation coefficient. Not just looking for debris, but also looking for some hailstones as well. We don't have a tornado risk. Well, it's not very high, especially with these storms north of the warm front. Not expecting any tornadoes. But outside of looking for debris, correlation coefficient allows us to look for hailstones as well. This separates raindrops, which are of uniform size, but hailstones, they're ununiform in size. They're different sizes, but they're also moving in different directions. So it allows us to pinpoint that as well. A little bit of what we call spatter spike or TBSS right in here, right where you see the black here. This is your hail core. So likely some stones falling here up to quarter size hail just south of Portland is where this the most intense portion of the core is, which is coming up along US 27, just north of Winchester. Actually, northern Wayne County kind of has a better core associated with it. I think this is actually Clutter up in here, kind of right in here would be where the better core is associated with that. If I go ahead and switch to what we call vertical integrated liquid, just shows our updraft. There we go. The strongest portion of the updraft with this storm is actually in northern Wayne County, or Randolph County. I'm sorry, not Wayne County. Richmond, you're okay for now. Randolph County and southern Jay County, right on the line there, coming near US 27. It's going to split Portland and Winchester. Going to go right between these two areas here. So Ridgeville, Red Key likely already passed you. This is coming into Ridgeville right now. Bluff Point, area south of Portland, getting in on some very heavy rain, but also hail. This is $half size hail, so larger than quarters. This is $1.25. Ping pong ball size hail would be the next criteria if we get there, but this is $half size hail. 50-cent piece in radius is $1.25. So that is what we're looking at here. The largest stones coming into Ridgeville and areas just to the south. So Randolph, Stone, Saratoga, as well as Deerfield, getting in on some large hailstones. Right in here is the strongest core from Ridgeville and south of State Road 28. This is coming up just north of Winchester. Winchester, probably not going to see super large hailstones, maybe some pea-size hail to dime-size hail with the larger stones just to your north, just about 3 to 5 miles to your north with Randolph and Deerfield. This is northern Randolph County as well as southern Jay County right in here. Portland looks like just heavy rain and lightning for you, maybe some pea-size hail on the south side of town with the core of this storm going just south of Jay County, right on the county line of Randolph County and Jay County. Yeah, some counties, Bailey actually sounds, so we don't call them tornado sirens, we call them storm sirens. And the reason is that they're not used just for tornadoes. In fact, their original design is outdoor warning sirens to warn those who are outdoors who need to seek shelter indoors. So some counties do warn them for tornadoes. However, quite a few counties sound them for also severe thunderstorm warnings as well. So given their purpose is outdoor warning sirens, some counties will sound storm sirens when under a severe thunderstorm warning as well to warn those who are outside that need to seek shelter inside. So I don't like using the term tornado sirens just because it's kind of misleading. Some counties do sound them for severe thunderstorm warnings as well. I don't expect any tornadoes tonight in the state of Indiana, mainly a hail risk. Hail is going to be the main story tonight. We've seen a lot of hail reports here in Indiana over the past hour or so. And that's going to be the main story of the night. That's because these storms are north of the cold front. We have more cold air to work with, but also elevated instability, meaning these storms are not going to become surface based. And really, what that means is the cloud deck or the base of where the cloud starts, where the base of that thunderstorm is high above the ground. It's not very low. You want lower cloud bases for tornadoes, but we also, north of the cold front, we don't have the same wind shear parameters that spin in the atmosphere like you would south of the warm front. So we don't have that. Different dynamics that play north versus south. And because these storms are north, more of a hail threat, but also a lot of lightning and a crap ton of lightning. These storms are loud if you have been impacted by these storms, but also heavy rain. These storms, especially right up in here, from Howard County, Tipton County, all the way over to Randolph County and Jay County, these storms have been moving over the same areas over and over again. So watch out for ponding on area roadways as well. These storms are putting down rainfall rates 1 to 2 inches per hour in the course. So there could be some isolated ponding as well, where these storms move over the same areas again and again. Moving back down here to central Indiana, a little bit kind of a messier scenario here. These storms are just kind of all grouped together, but also hydrologic concern along I-70 here. Very heavy rain. If I hit play here, these storms are moving from west to east. And you can see how they're moving over the same areas again and again from Terre Haute, Brazil, Greencastle. So if you're on I-70, slow down, watch out for hail. Up to quarter size hail. It's going to be kind of a mix. You go inside of these small cores, you could have some hail size pick up to perhaps quarter size, and then pea-size hail surrounding that as well. There's a lot of updrafts competing in this area here. All of these little circles that you see, this is what we call vertical integrated liquid. This is showing our updraft strength within the cores, and this is where the hail would be associated with. So the brighter the colors, the more red you see. White would be the strongest core, with blues and yellows being weaker cores. But you can see how they're all clustered together, and that correlates well with all the pink that you see on radar here from Brazil to Greencastle. So you may see bursts of heavy rain, pea-size hail, quarter-size hail, lightens up a little bit, and then another round moves in. That's kind of what we're looking at down here. Severe thunderstorm warnings for quarter-size hail for in the strongest of these cores, but it's going to be kind of mixed. Some of the largest stones will be quarters, but I think primarily what we're going to see right now is dimes and nickels. Really a mixed package here with individual cores that could produce up to quarter-size hail in these. Going back up here to northern Indiana or north central Indiana, our strongest storm is currently moving into Randolph County, just north of Saratoga, near Ridgeville, coming in through Randolph right now. Pretty impressive core here associated with this. Wouldn't be surprised to see a few stones larger than quarter size mixing down there. They did lower the warning back to quarter, but I'm going to have to keep an eye on that as well. This is one of the healthier cores of the storms that we have presently in Indiana. This storm is about ready to go into Ohio. This is for $half size hail, which is $1.25. So this is our strongest warning. And this is also confirmed. Trained weather spotters have confirmed $half size hail here in Randolph County. Jay County also in a severe thunderstorm warning. And we'll take that tail end of that one that's there. Sorry. I have a radio on here behind the scenes that was really loud, turning that off. This severe thunderstorm is moving east at 65 miles per hour. So these storms are moving fairly quickly here tonight. So do keep that in mind as well. So this will be in Ohio here fairly soon. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning, a really long severe thunderstorm warning, extending from Tipton County all the way to Muncie, Indiana. This is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. You can see the hail core there just north of the Elwood area coming near Alexandria, Indiana. The storm is also moving to the east at 70 miles per hour. So these storms are hauling, absolutely hauling. There's a lot of wind shear, but in speed shear tonight. We call that bulk shear. We have a lot of bulk shear. Go about 10,000 feet above your heads. The winds are hauling, and that is allowing these storms to race across the state of Indiana here tonight. So these storms are going to be moving pretty quick. The good news with that, they won't last very long. They're going to be quick hitters, and then it'll be done. But do watch out for some hail and also torrential rainfall as well. New severe thunderstorm warning, including Indianapolis, Indiana. This is for northwestern Hancock County, Morgan County, Hendricks, Marion, and Putnam counties until 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is for quarter-size hail and winds to up to 50 miles per hour, likely a little bit less than that. These storms moving a little bit slower the further south you go. Moving a little bit faster the further north you go, a little bit slower the further south you go. These are moving east at 40 miles per hour. This is currently for the storm that is near the Greencastle, Indiana area. So giving plenty of warning for downtown Indianapolis. Have an individual warning here also for 60 and quarters. So a lot of these warnings that you'll see are baseline warnings, which has quarter size hail, which is 1 inch diameter, 60 mile per hour winds, which makes the storm severe. You need 58 mile per hour or greater, as well as quarter size hail or larger. And we have seen a few larger stones mixed in here tonight. So, in fact, the largest stone was in Grant County, Indiana. That was near 1.5 inches, near ping pong ball size hail. So that was quite large up there as well. Yeah, I'll see some comments in here reporting your hail size. Let me know like what size hail you're seeing, if you guys see any hail tonight, and let me know if that's occurring now or occurred in the past. That'd be great and also very helpful for the National Weather Service as well. Large severe thunderstorm warning now being issued in Ohio. This is ping pong ball size hail associated with this storm over here in Randolph County. So the National Weather Service in Wilmington is actually upgrading this warning to ping pong ball size hail. Currently, the Indiana warning is actually quarter size hail, with Wilmington suggesting maybe the hail size is a little bit larger. Looking at our vertical integrated liquid, our updraft, we could have a few larger stones mixing down perhaps. This storm has been producing hail between quarters and $1.25, but there could be a few larger stones mixing down. They're coming into, I believe that would be Darke County down here near the Greenville, Ohio area. Radar is being a little laggy here tonight, so I apologize about that. Going back to one radar here full to give you guys a better picture of what we're talking about here tonight. Go ahead and show you, if you're in northern Indiana or north of this line here, this is kind of where a cold front is associated here. Cold front's a little bit further south, but if you're north of this line across northwest Indiana, you guys are good. Be sure to close your windows and might want to turn your furnace on. Temperatures are absolutely falling off a cliff north of this line here as the cold front is racing to the south. We're in the 70s down here across central and southern Indiana, 60s and 50s where the rain is currently falling, but we're in the 30s and 40s across northern Indiana, so it is very cold up here currently, and those colder temperatures are racing to the south. Once the cold front comes through, you're going to notice a 30+ degree temperature drop in as little as 3 hours. So temperatures are just going to fall off a cliff. Welcome to March in Indiana. Currently, we are watching several severe thunderstorm warnings, and these storms are expected to spread pretty much across this entire area. So if you live like really anywhere in this zone here, I won't get specific with your town names unless there's a hazard occurring at your location, then we'll talk about it. But if you're in this zone here, pay attention to your weather. Could have some strong to severe thunderstorms here overnight tonight. These are expected to spread south and east as the cold front does so as well. Going back up here from north to south, go ahead and start with Randolph County here in southeastern Jay County. This storm is racing off to the east at 70 miles per hour, getting ready to cross into the Ohio line into southern Mercer County, in central and north central Darke County as well. You can see the hail core there just coming into the Union City area, tracing along State Road 28. Saratoga, you're good for now, but you notice here to the west, we also have a severe thunderstorm warning. This storm is now leaving Tipton County and coming in towards the Alexandria area in Elwood, Indiana, just got hit. This is quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour winds, and this storm is also racing to the east between 65 and 70 miles per hour. This is for northern Madison County, Delaware County, as well as eastern Tipton County. However, it has pretty much moved out of Tipton County. These storms are racing at about 65 to 70 miles per hour for the northern cells here. So these storms will be in Alexandria probably here in the next 5 minutes. Muncie here in about 10 minutes or so as these storms are hauling in your direction. Back here to the west here, Frankfurt, you're in the clear. Not expecting any other storms for you tonight. Same thing for Lafayette and Kokomo. Howard County, you guys are good. Crawfordsville, you guys should be good here tonight. These storms are in the Lebanon area, maybe some pea-size hail and some heavy rain and lightning, but these are currently sub-severe at this point in time. Back here to the south, towards the Indianapolis area, you're in a severe thunderstorm warning. This is quarter-size hail and winds up to 50 miles per hour, likely some winds a little bit less than that. Haven't seen too many severe thunderstorm reports for a lot of wind, so that is something good. A large severe thunderstorm warning for Knox County, southern Sullivan County, Greene County. A large severe thunderstorm warning. This is for quarter-size hail as well as winds of 60 miles per hour. There is a fly in here. I don't know about you, but the downside of warming up is that the bugs also come out, so I apologize. This is for northeastern Knox County, southwestern Indiana, western Greene County, southwestern Indiana, as well as northern Davies County in southwestern Indiana until 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And this is for the storm near Robinson, Illinois. This is for quarter-size hail and winds to 60 miles per hour. The storm is moving off to the east at 55 miles per hour. So moving pretty swiftly here across southwest Indiana. And we're going to have to watch these storms as they continue to kind of backbuild a little bit near Effingham, Illinois, only Illinois as well. So if you're in the Vincennes, Jasper area, Evansville, keep an eye on these storms as they're moving off to the east-southeast between 55 and 70 miles per hour. So these storms are moving pretty fast. Yeah, Chloe, no tornadoes are expected in Indiana here tonight. And the reason, a large reason for that is a lot of these storms are north of the cold front. And that keeps these storms elevated in nature and really allows them to be more of a hail threat versus a widespread damaging wind risk and a tornado risk. Can't rule out some damaging winds, especially in the core of these storms where these really cold cores of these storms could pull down some rain-cooled air down to the ground in the form of maybe a microburst or some straight line wind. But tornadoes are not expected here in Indiana tonight, primarily hail. We've seen more hail reports than wind reports here in Indiana tonight, ranging from pea size all the way to ping pong ball size hail, if not a few larger stones mixing in the Hartford City area. That was about 40 minutes ago. So hail is the primary hazard here tonight across central and southern Indiana. But a lot of lightning too. These storms are loud. So a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning associated with these and a lot of cloud-to-cloud lightning as well. Just really loud storms moving across the state here tonight. The lightning is absolutely crazy. It was loud when it impacted my location here. Samantha says, quarter-size hail in Winchester. I appreciate that. I was associated with this storm here in Randolph County, now moving into Darke County, Ohio, a little bit there just south of Union City, but that is currently moving into Darke County, Ohio. Alexandria, Indiana, getting hit with some quarter-size hail. Could have some gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour. Go ahead and switch on velocity here just to look at our winds. The hail size here, be curious to know what the hailstones are doing here. It looks like maybe the hail core has weakened a little bit in the Alexandria area, so I'd be curious to know if there's anybody watching from that location and what the hail size is doing there. Not a lot of wind associated with this. A lot of the wind seems to be staying aloft, and that is largely thanks to a temperature inversion that we have with these storms staying elevated, where the remaining instability in the cloud bases are quite high. That keeps a lot of the winds aloft, but there could be some winds mixing down, especially primarily in the core of these storms. So isolated bursts of wind possible, but I don't see any much in the way of wind there in Alexandria, but there could be some strong winds there, especially with the core. These rain-cooled cores could pull down some dense air, maybe a little bit of a microburst risk. However, hail seems to still be the primary hazard here tonight. Switching on correlation coefficiency, a little bit of clutter there. This is the radar beam kind of going through this the storm here, kind of casting a shadow a little bit. This is clutter. but still likely maybe some small hail associated with that. I'd be curious to know what the hail size is doing there. Penny so far in Alexandria. Thanks, Nikki. That lines up really well with what we're seeing on radar. Going back to our VIL, if I hit play here, you can actually see this core kind of weaken a little bit. It spreads out. It was more centralized in Tipton County. And then you can see how the storm kind of split a little bit near Alexandria. So kind of a, sorry for the radar kind of going wonky there a little bit, but that lines up pretty well with what we're seeing on radar there, right in the core. So penny size hail, that'd be 0.75, 3/4 of an inch diameter there, being reported by Nikki. So thank you for that report. Again, those reports are very helpful to me, as I am only as good as what the radar shows. So having those ground reports are very helpful. So pretty strong, good size updraft here near Robinson, Illinois. This is going to be moving into southern Sullivan County, as well as northern Knox County. These storms are moving east at about 55 miles per hour. Currently warned for $half size hail in Illinois, quarter size here in Indiana. So we're going to have to see how that updraft trends as it moves across the Wabash River into southern and central and southern Sullivan County, as well as northern Knox County. Greene County, Davies County, got a little bit yet, but we're going to have to watch these storms. You are included in that severe thunderstorm warning as these storms are moving east at 55 miles per hour. Brazil, Indiana, under a severe thunderstorm warning, winds up to 50 miles per hour and quarter size hail. Terre Haute, Indiana, you guys should be in the clear here tonight. Gonna hear some noisy lightning and some moderate rainfall for the next 10 to 20 minutes here, but you guys should be done here for the night after about 20 more minutes or so of some rainfall there. Going to the Indianapolis metro area, under a severe thunderstorm warning, quarter size hail, as well as winds up to 50 miles per hour. And that's for this storm right in here coming near the Mooresville area. Just as riding up along I-70 here, going to come into the Mooresville area, Plainfield, Indianapolis, Beech Grove, under a severe thunderstorm warning for quarter size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. And you can see there a really nice, healthy hail core associated right in here, right on top of I-70 or just north of I-70, likely getting some quarters falling there. Just south of Stylesville, south of US 40, kind of splitting between US 40 and I-70. And this storm is going to be moving near the Clayton area, Plainfield, and Mooresville, Indiana area. Going to come pretty close to Indianapolis International Airport as well. Going to have to watch this storm there as it's riding right along I-70. Lots of small hail cores right along the I-70 corridor here in west central Indiana. This is in effect for 37 more minutes here. And this storm is currently moving east at 40 miles per hour. But hail would be the primary risk here this evening across the state of Indiana. So if you're south of this line, here's a hint. Probably a good idea to put your car in a carport, garage. If you have a shelter for your vehicle, not a bad idea to pull that in, as you could have some pea-size hail all the way up to perhaps quarter-size hail impacting areas across central and southern Indiana. So if you're in this area right in here, now's a good time to kind of prepare. Pick up loose objects, trash cans, etc. And if you have any vehicles or anything outside that you want to protect from any hail, now's a good time to go ahead and pick those items up and be prepared for these thunderstorms. Hopefully they don't impact your location, but if they do, you'll be ready. Hail size tonight, really kind of close to baseline criteria is what we've seen the most of, anywhere from pea size up to quarter size. Lots of lightning, though. Lightning has been quite intense with these storms. These are very loud storms. Lightning does not make a storm severe, but lightning is a hazard. So when thunder roars, go indoors. But lots of small hail associated with these storms. Yeah, the lightning is quite intense across Indiana. These are very noisy storms. But on the backside of these storms, you're going to notice the temperatures are just going to fall off a cliff here as the cold front comes through. Quite crazy. Good news is, though, we're not going to have any backside snow with this. So there is a plus. There is light at the end of that tunnel, although it is going to be quite cold as we wake up here tomorrow. The entire state of Indiana will be ranging from about 28 degrees in northern Indiana to about 30 degrees tomorrow morning. But the good news is we warm up above freezing tomorrow afternoon into the 40s and 50s for most of Indiana. So we are back to closer to average temperature, slightly below average tomorrow. And then we gradually warm up the rest of the week. By the end of the week, we're back in the 70s. So this is a very short-lived cold front. Or as we get later in the season, the good news is these bursts of cold air coming down from Canada are typically more short-lived than what they would be in February and late January, where we have more substantial support for these cold systems to come in and kind of lock in place. But this is going to bring short-lived below average temperatures, near average. Average temperatures this time of year. A lot of questions about that. Southern Indiana, average temperature right around 58, 60 degrees. Central Indiana, between 50 and 55. Northern Indiana, between 48 and 50 degrees is our average temperatures this time of year. Tomorrow will be in the 40s and 50s across Indiana. So right around average for this time of year. Our average temperatures, though, they do gradually go up through the end of the month here. So we do expect warmer temperatures to become more of a norm as we work closer well into spring. But we are officially in astronomical spring now across Indiana. Sullivan County, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This hail core is near Palestine, Illinois, Robinson, Illinois. This is going to be moving right across the Wabash River right about now, right along State Road 58 near Merriam and Carlisle. Sullivan, Cass, Duggar, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Coming up here to Spencer, Indiana, near Patricksburg, getting in some nice hail core right in there, right near, kind of get that warning tag out of the way, right in here, right where you see that hail core right in there. Could have some quarter-size hail right in there. Coming up to State Road 46, near Patricksburg, just east of Clay City. Clay City could have some pea-size hail before everything's all said and done. Back up here to the north towards Indianapolis, Beech Grove, Indiana. Nice little cell popped up there. Could have perhaps pea to dime size hail just on the south side of Indianapolis, right along I-69, 74, right on the bypass here. Coming up to I-65 as well. Could have some pea to dime size hail associated with that. Coming near the interchange, pretty much right on the interchange of 74, 69. There on the south side of Indianapolis, just to the west of Beech Grove near University Heights. So 65 and 69, 74, right on the interchange there in areas just to the north. Have a nice little heavy cell there on the south side of Indianapolis. The cell to watch just to the west of Indianapolis near Plainfield, Mooresville. These are moving east, northeast at about 45 miles per hour. Quarter-size hail and winds up to 50 miles per hour, but likely a little bit less than that. Back up here to north central Indiana, coming into the Muncie area and Alexandria area. This is warned for quarter-size hail in 60-mile-per-hour winds. The hail core kind of shifted south just a little bit, kind of on the south side of the warning box here. Camac and Yorktown getting in on some action here. Quarter-size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. Looking on velocity, though, I don't really see a lot of wind reports out of this storm here, looking at some Mesonet data here behind the scenes. But there could be some gusty winds mixing down briefly here in the core of this storm. So winds up to 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. And this storm is currently moving off to the east or racing off to the east at 65 miles per hour. So moving quite swiftly to the east there towards Muncie, Indiana. So Muncie, Indiana, being the lookout for hail size anywhere between peas and quarters. Kind of a mixed package here within these cores. As these cores are kind of loosely organized, with the strongest core looking to be in southern Indiana now. right in here, coming into southern Sullivan County, northern Knox County. This is the healthiest looking core right in here, right where you see all these whites, kind of a dark gray color. This is a much healthier return, um, likely having some larger stones, more higher confidence and more quarters falling within this storm than up there in northern Indiana. This storm is moving east at about 45 miles an hour, crossing the Wabash River right now, but a nice healthy hail core coming into the Carr Isle area, just to the north of Oak County in northern Knox County. Bicknell, gonna have to watch this cell, kind of the southern cell near Lawrenceville. Have to watch this one here for you. I think the worst of the storm for this warning is going to go just to the north of Bicknell, kind of like right in this zone here, just south of Sullivan. So Linton, Indiana, through about maybe Edward Sport, Plainfield. Sorry, I butchered that, but that would be kind of the area to watch for this storm here. It could back build. It could build a little bit to the south. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it as well. This whole area is under a severe thunderstorm warning for 29 more minutes here, or until 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Quarter size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Also a decent hail core near Patricksburg, Indiana, coming into the Vandalia area. Jordan, Cataract, going to have to keep an eye on that as well. You can see a nice, healthy, it's small, but there's a nice, healthy core there near Vandalia, coming into the Cataract and Jordan area as well. Likely a few quarters, perhaps mixing in. A very narrow, only a couple miles wide for this core, but there could be a few quarters mixing in there as well. Switching radars here back to Indianapolis. Nice core near the Beech Grove area. Could have some dimes and nickels falling there, and gonna have to watch this cell. Just still trucking along I-70, moving to the north and east at about 45 miles an hour, moving into the Mooresville area and Plainfield area. Very electric. There is a lot of lightning across the Circle City right now. Looking at some cameras here behind the scenes. These storms are electric. From cloud to cloud lightning, we call that CC or IC lightning, intercloud lightning. There's just a lot of that going on, as well as some cloud to ground lightning as well. We call that CG lightning. These storms are electric. Have a new severe thunderstorm warning now. So this warning is extended now for Randolph County, once again under a severe thunderstorm warning. This is for quarter-size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. This includes Lynn, Indiana, and Winchester, Indiana. This storm is still hauling to the east at 65 miles per hour. At 9:31, a severe thunderstorm was located near Muncie, moving east to 65 miles per hour. This is for Delaware County and Randolph County, as well as northeastern Henry County in east central Indiana. And this is until 10:15 Eastern Daylight Time. Although Henry County, I think the worst of it is going to go just to your north, but they do include northern Henry County from Springport over to Blountsville along US 35. This storm is racing off to the east at 65 miles per hour, so only have about 15 minutes or so before it is coming near the Winchester area and Lynn, Indiana. 65 to 70 mile per hour east motion with this, so these storms are booking it across northern Indiana. Pea-size hail in Muncie. Thank you for that report. Are you in downtown Muncie or the south side of Muncie? Maddie, I'd be curious to know that. It looks like the strongest core is on the south side of town, near the Yorktown area in Middletown Park, just to the south of Ball State University. So just to the south of the university there, looks like where the worst of the hail is. So I'd be curious to know more hail downtown Muncie. So pea-sized hail being reported in Muncie. Now, is that downtown or south side? I'd be curious to know if you're closer to Yorktown or Middle Park. Kind of for reference, what I'm seeing here on radar, the worst of the hail looks to be kind of between Yorktown and Middletown Park on the southwest side of town, with perhaps some smaller hail up here near Andersonville, downtown Muncie, and Ball State University. That's kind of what I'm seeing here on radar. Closer to Yorktown? Okay. So it looks like primarily pea-sized hail, maybe a few larger stones being mixed down is kind of what I'm hearing here. It's loud. These storms are very loud, man. Um, yeah, these storms are interrupting a lot of basketball across the region. I know that. Okay, yeah, thanks. So it sounds like primarily, maybe perhaps below severe criteria for the Muncie area then in terms of hail. So that's perhaps some good news there. Um, okay, P to dime size hail. Yeah, thanks for the reports there. Um, looks like the hail core maybe intensified a little bit, or at least the updraft did a little bit. So be curious to know if there's a few larger stones mixing down there in the Muncie area. So Muncie followers, keep me updated there on that storm. Always love to know what is going on where you are at. That helps us out a lot, especially with radar trends and these elevated storm scenarios here, where sometimes the VIL may be kind of misinterpreting if some of these hailstones are melting before they reach the ground, or if they're not mixing all the way down to the ground. So a very good information there coming from you guys. So I appreciate that. If you could do so safely, the key word is safely. Don't go out in it. You know, be careful and make sure you're in a safe place um, if need be. Indianapolis, Indiana, still under severe thunderstorm warning here for a few more minutes here. Let me switch back here. I accidentally went to the airport radar. I don't want that radar for this. Let's go. I don't see any spatter spikes anymore. Those are intense hail cores that show up on correlation coefficients. This product is really cool. It's really versatile. Over here on the right side of your screen where you see all the pink here. So all the pink that you see showing up on radar. So everything that's uniform in size, which are raindrops, the radar here shows us pink. When a radar looks at a raindrop, a lot of people think raindrops look like teardrops, but they're actually flat when they fall. They actually fall like pancakes. And that's because as gravity pushes down, air resistance is pushing up, and that flattens raindrops like pancakes. So pancakes show up as a kind of a maroon color on this product, but anything that are not pancakes, such as hail, um, can show up, especially in large quantities, as much brighter colors. Kind of like this down here. This is not hail, this is clutter, but that's kind of what it would look like. We use this product also to look for debris during tornado situations, as ununiform objects in size and velocity show up differently on there as well. So kind of a cool product that we can use. We don't expect any tornadoes in Indiana here tonight, so we're mainly using that product for hail here this evening. So very cool, different products that we can use here to see what the storms are doing. Yeah, we have some hail photos on our pages as well. So if you want to submit a report, feel free to let us know. You can do that on Messenger or on our Facebook page as well. You're welcome to leave a comment with your time, event, location, what time it occurred. That way, if we, send that into the National Weather Service, they can go back on radar and okay, so the storm was here at this location. This is what it looked like, so they can log that better. So always use the tell method, tell time, event, location, the time it occurred, where it occurred, and what happened. What occurred. Is it wind damage? Is it hail? That helps everyone out a lot. But also tell it as it is, not like what you think it is. Don't embellish anything, just as it is. You saw this, this is what happened. Always good to do that as well. So the hail core looked to shift north just a little bit over downtown Muncie. Still warned for quarter size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Be curious to know if the stones did get larger in the Muncie, Indiana area. So calling our Muncie followers. Be curious to know what size is falling there. Getting loud in Spencer. Yeah, it is loud everywhere underneath these storms, man. It is. These storms are electric, to say the least. Very loud, very noisy. Just a lot of lightning here. But there's also a little bit of a temperature inversion too. That can amplify thunder with these being north of the cold front. There's some cold air undercutting these storms, and that can actually trap sound waves near the ground, acting as a lid. It bounces off the cold air because we have warm air aloft, and that can drag out the thunder as well and kind of amplify. In the same way an amplifier works at an auditorium. If you ever sit in an auditorium, you notice how they're shaped like a megaphone, how they go out, that's for sound to travel. A temperature inversion at the low levels does the same thing. It can amplify sound waves, bouncing it back and forth and drawing it out longer. So with some cold air undercutting these storms, it can amplify the thunder and making it sound even louder than what it typically would. So kind of some cool science there on the cold side of these thunderstorms. And the fact that there's just a crap ton of lightning also makes these storms exceptionally noisy as well. Clark says, pea-sized hail, southern Sullivan County. Yeah, I appreciate that. These storms are coming into Sullivan County right now. I really don't see much in the way of very large hail, really anywhere in Indiana at this point in time. These storms really are kind of borderline severe criteria in terms of hail. Getting lots of reports of pea-sized to nickel-sized hail across the state of Indiana, with the occasional quarter mixing in. So these storms really are kind of borderline on the threshold of severe criteria. But because there's some quarters perhaps mixing down, a lot of baseline severe thunderstorm warnings are being issued for perhaps a few of those larger stones aloft coming down to the ground. So still a good idea to put your cars in your garage or in a carport if you have that. Not a bad idea. Yeah, Bloomington, Indiana, you're currently not in a severe thunderstorm warning right now. Spencer County is in a severe thunderstorm warning. I guess your county is technically in a warning for the northwest portions of the county. However, this storm is going to move north of Bloomington. The storm to watch is actually the one coming into Greene County out of Sullivan County. Currently, one for quarter-size hail. Just got a report, though, for some pea-size hail associated with this. So that's these hail sizes kind of varying tonight, anywhere from pea-size to quarter-size, with a few larger stones mixing down periodically. But that's really the main hazard here tonight is mainly heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and hail ranging from pea-size to quarter-size, maybe a little bit more. In sporadic instances where, we get a periodic updraft to really take hold and establish itself. New severe thunderstorm warning for Greenland and Franklin, Indiana, quarter-size hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds. So kind of two updrafts here. So the one for this warning, kind of elongated updraft near west of Franklin, Indiana, as well as Mooresville, Indiana. But also, just reading some reports here behind the scenes, so bear with me there. We have some chasers out in the field here tonight. We have Corey out in the field here tonight. He is with us here behind the scenes. Once he gets closer to these storms, may pop him up. I'll leave him here in the background here, so you can see there. Lots of lightning. He's currently in the. He's looking towards these cells up in here, I believe, in east central Indiana. You can see the lightning there on his screen there. In the Indiana. But a lot of lightning, though, to say the least. These storms are electric. Let us know in the comments what you guys are seeing under these warnings. Love to see what is going on at your location here tonight. We got Brittany that says, looks like pea-size hail. So thank you for that report. That is in Mooresville, Indiana. Amanda says pea-size hail in Selma. Yeah, thank you for that report. Lots of reports of pea-size hail coming in with these storms. A lot of these storms are warned for quarter-size hail, but the reports we're getting behind the scenes are a little bit less than that. We're actually seeing more reports, more so for dime to nickel-size hail than we are quarter-size hail. So don't let your guard down just yet, because we do have a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings. The National Weather Service is issuing those for good reason. However, a lot of the reports are saying otherwise, closer to pea-size to nickel-size hail for a lot of these storms, which is below severe criteria. We don't want to let our guard down completely, but hopefully this is a good sign that we don't see these storms really intensify to produce larger stones, quarters, ping pong ball size hails, and stuff like that. We've seen a few reports up to ping pong ball size hail, or perhaps a little bit larger, but for the past half an hour now, we're getting more reports of peas and nickels than we are quarters. So hopefully that's a good sign here tonight. Yeah, a little bit longer for Muncie, and then you guys should be good. Cliff says pea size hail east side of Muncie. Yeah, thanks for that report. So definitely these storms kind of look to have more bark than they do bite here tonight across Indiana, at least right now. So hopefully that is some good news here. And no tornadoes are expected here across Indiana tonight. We don't really have the dynamics needed for tornadoes in Indiana here this evening. Primarily hail, gusty winds, perhaps reaching severe criteria at times in the cores, maybe through like a heavy downburst, so on and so forth. But hail is going to be the primary hazard here tonight. Jacqueline says just rain and green fields and lots of lightning. Yeah, these storms are absolutely electric. There is just no doubt about that at all. Some of these storms are just downright loud across Indiana. Severe thunderstorm warning continues though for a lot of these storms, but a lot of the reports I'm seeing are below severe criteria. The strongest storm looks to be this one here, though. This one here, I believe we could be seeing some larger hailstones near the Bicknell area. A really nice hail core right in here. So I'm going to stay on this storm here, as this storm actually looks to be the strongest storm in the state currently. And this is in north central Knox County, moving into Daviess County, north of Washington near Bicknell. Right where you see the black here, that is a very intense core of this storm. And look at your updraft here, much stronger than what we're seeing across other parts of the state. And I'm going to turn on correlation coefficient just to look to see if we have a spatter spike for hail. And we might have a little one right in here, perhaps a little bit of perhaps a spatter spike here. So likely some hail coming down to the ground here, quarter size hail, if not maybe a little bit larger. So if you're in northern Knox County or Daviess County, let me know what your hail size is. I think we could definitely see some quarters with this cell here. This cell looks to be quite healthy on radar, and has a very, very healthy looking core associated with it, especially in the hail department and torrential rainfall. Lots of lightning with this cell too. So this storm is currently the strongest portion of the store, northern Knox County near Bicknell, and this is going to move near Plainville, Indiana, Odin, Indiana, Epson, Indiana, northern Daviess County, as well as the Elnora area as well. I-69 from Washington north is kind of the corridor to watch here with this storm right in here, as it's going to move towards the Odin area, Plainville area, Elnora, Epson, Ragglesville, and Odin. Likely some quarter size hail, if not a few larger stones, mixing down with this cell here. So I'd be curious to know if there's anybody watching from Knox County or Daviess County, likely getting in on some stronger or some larger hailstones there associated with that. So Dimes in Muncie seems to be some of the larger stones that we've seen there in Muncie. So below severe criteria up there for that storm. Severe thunderstorm warning continues though, although I think some of the larger hailstones we've seen are closer to Dimes. Muncie though, you should be in the clear. You're going to have some heavy rain here momentarily as these storms continue to move out. But if you are, I'll go ahead and draw a line here for you guys. If you're north of this line, in anywhere in this zone that I just circled, you guys are good. Go to bed. Keep watching basketball. Hopefully your brackets are doing better than mine. But yeah, enjoy your evening. You guys are good to go. If you're south of this line, kind of in this zone right in here, keep an eye on the sky. Could have some strong to locally severe thunderstorms here for the remainder of the evening, probably over the next 1 to 2 hours or so for these storms here. So we do have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning now. This is for ping pong ball size hail. This is for northern Daviess County as well as Knox County. So this is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. There we go. Now you guys can see my labels a little bit more. Just kind of working on see what camera looks the best. There we go. You guys can see the label a little bit better here. So this is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning now. Ping pong ball size hail as well as winds to 60 miles per hour. The largest hailstones seem to be near the Bicknell area and just south of Freelandville in Knox County. And this is going to be moving directly towards Edwardsport, Wagner, Plainville, Elnora, Epsom, and Odin. So northern Daviess County as well as northern Knox County getting in on perhaps hailstones up to ping pong ball size hail that is 1.5 inches in diameter. So fairly large hailstones. These can cause roof damage. This can cause injuries to people and animals outside without shelter. People and animals outdoors will be injured. Expect hail damage to roof, siding, windows, and vehicles. And also expect some wind damage to roof, siding, and trees possible as well. Linton, Bloomfield, Bicknell, Worthington, Odin, Lyons, Elnora, Bruceville, Plainville, Sanborn, Montgomery, Edwardsport, Switz City, Newberry, Candleburg, Freelandville, and Vicksburg. And this is also observed. This is an observed warning. So ping pong ball size hail has been observed with this storm here. Go ahead and turn on dual radar here, split screen, to show our correlation coefficient here. This shows you kind of where the hail core is here with this storm, right in here, crossing into Daviess County here. And that was Corey talking there behind the scenes. Where you at, Corey? Okay, lost him there. I'll go ahead and put him there backstage there. Very intense hail core here. We're going to stay on this storm here. This is the more intense storm here in Indiana, so we're going to stick with it here. This storm is moving into the Plainville area right now. Very intense hail core associated with this right in here. Right where you see the black is where the largest hailstones are. Ping pong ball size hail has been observed. And this is coming right along State Road 358, State Road 57, going to come right into Plainville and perhaps just on the north side. So Elnora, Indiana, Epsom, Indiana, and Cornettsville, Indiana. Get ready for ping pong ball size hail as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. Go ahead and turn on our updraft here. Very healthy updraft associated with this storm here, and a very healthy core associated with this too. Right where you see all the black on your radar is where the heaviest core is, and ping pong ball size hail is associated with this storm. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. People and animals will be injured if caught outside without shelter. So do move to an interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. Ping pong ball size hail can break windows. It can shatter windshields on cars. It can also cause some shingle damage, roof damage, as well as damage to trees and plants as well. This is currently the strongest storm here in Indiana. I will briefly jump around to look north, but we're going to go back to Daviess and Washington counties. That is the strongest storm here in Indiana. All of these storms up in here look to be between penny and dime size hail, maybe a few quarters mixing in southwest of Greenfield, but these storms look to kind of be on the lower end of things. Going back down here to Edwardsport, Indiana, northern Daviess County, Indiana. So this hail core is currently moving into Plainville, Indiana. This storm, go ahead and is moving east at 60 miles per hour. So this storm is moving quite fast. Is going to come really directly into Plainville, Indiana, sorry, excuse me. State Road 57 and coming close to I-69 as well, near the Odin area. It's going to come pretty close to you. Ping pong ball size hail, as well as perhaps up to 60 mile per hour winds. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. A golf ball size hail. So we just got a new warning, golf ball size hail, which is 1.75 inches. So very large hailstones falling here with this storm. This is kind of a dangerous thunderstorm now. Moving into Plainfield again, golf ball size hail, winds up to 60 mile per hour. This is the considerable severe thunderstorm warning. So the severe thunderstorm warning has been upgraded to golf ball size hail, and that is observed. So golf balls have been observed within this storm at 9:54 p.m. So 1 minute ago, a severe thunderstorm was located 8 miles north of Washington, 20 miles east of Vincennes, moving east at 60 mile per hour. Golf ball size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. Emergency management has reported that golf ball size hail. So very large hailstones right where you see the black here. This is the most intense portion of the storm where the core is, likely where that golf ball size hail is occurring. And this is moving east at 60 miles per hour, just south of Wagner, east of Edwardsport, moving into the Plainfield, Indiana area right now, getting impacted by likely those golf ball size hail. A little bit smaller as you go to the south, but warned for ping pong ball size hail. And now we're warned downstream for golf ball size hail. So Lagodi and Shoals now under a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, golf ball size hail. This is for Martin County, southwestern Indiana, and Lawrence County, as well as Davies County in southwestern Indiana till 10:45 p.m. Golf ball size hail and 60 mile per hour winds has been confirmed within this storm. The storm is moving east southeast at 60 miles per hour. Going to be coming near Lagodi, Shoals, and Washington. Currently, this is in Davies County. It's going to be moving towards Lagodi and Shoals. Golf ball size hail as well as 60 mile per hour winds. Go ahead and turn on our correlation coefficient here to look at the hail. There's your kind of a little bit of a spatter spike, kind of elongated spatter spike a little bit. Epson, Indiana, along I-69, going to be getting impacted by golf ball size hail. So if you know any motorists on I-69, probably a good idea to get to a rest stop. Don't park under an overpass. You'll only be a hazard to emergency management, yourself, and others on the roadways. So never take shelter under an overpass on the freeway. Do watch out for golf ball size hail, though. Plainville, Indiana should be lightening up here over the next couple of minutes or so. Epson, Indiana, right on your heels, as well as Cornetsville coming into you right now. This will be near Ragglesville and Odin here in the next few minutes. Odin about 5 minutes out, and Ragglesville probably about 6 to 7 minutes out here. So they've trimmed the warning back, but still remains golf ball size hail, as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. This is a dangerous storm coming across I-69 in Davies County, just north of Washington. The worst of the hail core is near Plainville and Epson, and areas just to the south. Golf ball size hail, as well as 60 mile per hour winds associated with this storm here. This storm is moving off to the east southeast at 60 miles per hour. So if you are not within this warning box, hopefully you know where you live. You are not in the hazard path of this storm at this point in time. So if I have not mentioned in your towns, you're probably not in the path of this storm at this point in time. The storm is going to be moving near the Lagodi area, Shoals, Dover Hill, Burns City, Cannelberg, Lacey, and Odin, as well as Epsom. Epsom probably getting into it right now, waiting on the next radar scan to come through. The storm is along I-69 north of Washington and south of Elnora in Davies County. Golf ball size hail, 60 miles per hour winds. Knox County, the warning was trimmed back, so Knox County, you are good. for this storm at this present time. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for extreme southern portions of Knox County, south of Vincennes, but that storm's still in Illinois and has a few miles to go before it enters Indiana. You guys ever like have that one fly that just won't leave you alone, no matter what you do? It's kind of how I'm feeling at the moment. I'll get it eventually. I promise. I'm gonna get this fly. Currently, also a new severe thunderstorm warning just got issued downstream from Nashville, Indiana to Guthrie, including Bloomington, Indiana. Quarter size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. The strongest storms, though, are to the south and west of Bloomington, though. But we're going to stay on this storm here in Daviess County, as this is our strongest storm here in Indiana. All other severe thunderstorm warnings in Indiana are baseline for quarter size hail and winds less than 60 miles per hour. The storm is currently moving east at 60, moving east southeast at 60 miles per hour. Emergency management has confirmed golf ball size hail. This is in central Daviess County, moving towards the Lagodi area and Shoals. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Movement is east at 60 miles per hour, 60. Crossing I-69 right now. Kind of have two separate updrafts here. Have a southern portion of this cell just to the northeast of Washington, coming near Montgomery and Candleburg, north of US 50 towards Lagodi and Burns City, kind of right in that zone there. US 231 from Ragglesville down to Lagodi. Going to have to be on the lookout for perhaps golf ball size hail, as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. The storm is moving east at 60 miles per hour. I used to have a cat, Katie. His name was Felix, and you better believe he was locked on to any bug that moved in our house, and he could be in another room and he would somehow know there was a fly in the living room, and you would just see him beeline with one thing on his mind, and that was capturing that bug. But we currently don't have any inside pets at this time, so but definitely know what you mean there. A lot of severe thunderstorm warnings from Greenfield, Indiana, all the way down to Knox County, Indiana. Currently, all of these are warned for quarter-size hail as the primary severe hazard. We could have some gustier winds from Bloomington, Indiana, down to Washington, Indiana, with a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for the Washington, Indiana area and Lagodi, Indiana area. And this is our strongest storm here in Indiana. Be curious to know what your hail size is. If you guys are in any of these storms from Franklin, Bloomington, Newcastle, even Richmond, Indiana, now under a severe thunderstorm warning. However, the worst of the storm is north of town. Richmond, Indiana looks to be okay remotely, but if you're in Lynn and areas along US 27 here from Winchester, Lynn, and just north of Richmond near Webster, could have some quarter size hail. Be curious to know what hail size you're seeing up there at this point in time, as VIL looks to show, right at severe criteria or perhaps even a little bit less. So I am curious to know what you were seeing in those areas. Coming back down south to our considerable severe thunderstorm warning, still warned for golf ball size hail. There's that fly again. He is a pesky little burger, let me tell you. 60 mile per hour winds and golf ball size hail. Chris, what town are you referring to? He says we got $50 size hail. Lots of towns in Indiana, so I'm just curious which storm you're referring to there. Lots of lightning associated with this storm with all of these storms as well. These are very loud storms. Lots of cloud to ground lightning and intercloud lightning, IC lightning as well. Yeah, Ashwin, what size was the hail there near Lynn? I'd be curious to know what your hail size is there. Currently, ourselves for Davies County. I'll go ahead and read the counties off here. This is Martin County, southwestern Lawrence County, and Davies County, southwestern Indiana, till 10:45. In effect for 40 more minutes here. This is golf ball size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. Does include the Lagodi area, Ragglesville, Ogun, and Cannelberg, Indiana, as well as Shoals, Dover Hill, Lacey, Indiana. Pea-size hail, 7 miles east of Lynn. Thank you for that report. I do want to give a shout out for our sponsor of our severe weather coverage here this evening, sponsored by Rutgers Outdoor Services based in Indianapolis. If you have any tree damage or if you have any trees that you want to get cleaned up before the next storm hits, feel free to give them a call, 317-665-3969. They'll be happy to help you out, proudly serving the Indianapolis area and surrounding areas. Always good to get those things taken care of before severe weather strikes to help protect your property from when severe weather strikes. Still have our considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Actually, 2-inch hail is now being reported within this cell here, coming right near Lagodi. 2-inch hail, which is tennis ball size hail or lime size hail. These are very large hailstones. In fact, they're just dangerous. These are dangerous hailstones moving near Lagodi, up to 2 inches in diameter near Montgomery and Cannelberg, right in here. Go ahead. I'm actually going to do something real quick. I'm actually going to turn on correlation coefficient here. See if we have a spider spike. And boy, do we. So this is what we call a TBSS or a spatter spike. Essentially what this is a hail core that shows up on radar here, just like it would for a tornado. Like when you have a debris ball on radar, we use this product. There's no tornado on the ground, but we use this product for hail cores as well to show us where the concentration of hail is the greatest at. This will show up just like debris does during a tornado because we have hailstones that are moving at different size or different velocity, but they're also different sizes. So it shows up just in the way that debris was. So this is what we call a spatter spike, and this is where the hail core is currently. This is moving towards Lagodi, Indiana, right into Montgomery and Cannelberg, US 50. This is tennis ball size hail, 2 inches in diameter, lime size. I really don't like the term lime just because limes can vary in size as fruits can. The closest reference would be tennis balls. Tennis ball size hail or close to it. Cannelberg, Montgomery, Indiana, as well as Lagodi, US 50 coming into Shoals. This is a very dangerous thunderstorm. This is 2 inches in diameter. This is for South Central Davies County and moving into the Lagodi area and Shoals, Indiana area, right along US 50. So be on the lookout for tennis ball size hail or close to it, as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. So this is a very intense thunderstorm, which has an ever-increasing hail core associated with it. So we'll go ahead and time it out here for you. So Lagodi, you're about 5 to no more than 10 minutes before this hail core is right over top of you. This storm is currently moving east at 50 miles per hour. So quite quickly, emergency management has reported 2-inch size hail, and this is observed. So we have tennis ball size hail observed with this storm right along US 50 from Montgomery, Black Oak, Cannelberg, moving directly towards Lagodi, US 231. So if you're from Whitfield to Bramble, be on the lookout for significant hailstones, with the largest hailstones concentrated right in here. This 2 to 3 mile zone here from Montgomery areas just to the north near Cannelberg. This is going to move directly towards Lagodi, moving east at 50 miles per hour. Tennis ball size hail, as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. So move to an interior room away from windows. Tennis ball size hail can shatter windows, cause significant damage to trees, shingles, roofs. It can cause considerable amount of damage as well. So you don't want to be caught outside. This will injure people and animals caught without shelter. So interior room away from windows, is tennis ball size hail is plenty large enough to break your windows and expose yourself. To those outside conditions. There you can see the spatter spike right over Lagodi, so some very large hailstones right in here, right over downtown Lagodi, getting some very large hail associated with this storm here. So interior room away from windows until the storm has passed, not for a tornado threat, but a hail threat, a significant hail threat coming into Lagodi here. Hail up to 2 inches in diameter associated with this. This is lime size hail or tennis ball size hail associated with this. Does have an observed tag on it as well with this severe thunderstorm warning. So this is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, significant hail impacting Lagodi, Indiana. Right now, US 50 moving towards Shoals, Dover Hill, and Lacey. So if you're in areas downstream from this, be on the lookout for very large hailstones falling here. This can cause considerable damage to vehicles, homes, and will injure people and animals caught without shelter outside. So you need to be in an interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. This is the considerable severe thunderstorm warning for 2-inch hail, as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. Elsewhere across Indiana, mainly baseline severe thunderstorm warnings. Winds pea size to quarter size hail up and down this line. Our strongest storm is in southern Indiana. So that is where we're going to remain focused here for the next few minutes here. If you're north of this area, pea size hail to quarter size hail. That's about it. No, Cody, no funnel clouds. There's no tornado risk in Indiana here tonight. This is primarily a hail risk. Tornadoes are not forecasted here tonight in Indiana. The center portion of the hail core is still moving through Lagodi. This is moving east at about 50 miles per hour, coming near Shoals and Dover Hill, about 10 to 15 minutes away or less from Lacey, Shoals, and Dover Hill. If you're in the French Lick area or perhaps Paoli, Mitchell area, you're going to have to keep an eye on this cell as it moves in your direction. As this cell has a history of producing anywhere from golf balls to tennis balls and moving east at 50 miles per hour. This is the strongest storm in Indiana currently. This is also the strongest warning that we currently have here in Indiana here tonight as well. If anybody is watching though, from perhaps Davies County, after this storm, Not before the storm or in the storm, but behind the storm. If you guys have any hail reports, I will gladly take those to see what size is falling at your location. These stones are likely going to be on the ground for a little while yet. It's going to take a while to melt these stones of this size. This is golf ball size hail up to tennis ball size hail falling here within this storm. This is 2-inch diameter hail. And there's your spatter spike still on the move. A significant hail core moving towards the Shoals and Lacey areas in the Lagodi area. My goodness, fly. This is Source Emergency Management. 2-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is for Martin in southwestern Lawrence County, as well as southeastern Daviess County. The storm is primarily in Martin County at this point in time, near the Lagodi area, along and south of US 50. The worst of it is going to come near Shoals and Lacey. This is moving east at 50 miles per hour. But if anyone's watching from the Lagodi area, I would love to know what your hail size was there. If you can do so safely. If you're in downtown Lagodi, give it a few more minutes. The hail core is moving off to your east, but there's still a lot of lightning and heavy rain in the area. But if you're in Daviess County, I'd love to know what your hail reports are, if you can do so safely. Currently warned for 2-inch hail, lime size or tennis ball size hail, as well as considerable severe thunderstorm warning here. This is a level 2. So we have a baseline severe, which is penny or quarter size hail, 58 mile per hour winds or greater. Then we have considerable, which is golf ball or greater. And then we have destructive, which is about 3-inch size hail or 80 mile per hour winds or greater. Nicole says about golf ball size hail. Yeah. Thank you for that report there. Yeah, quite a destructive storm, a dangerous storm as well here in Martin County currently. Daviess County currently, you guys are okay. You do have a couple other cells off to your west in Knox County currently. If you're in the south of the Vincennes area, gonna have to watch this here. In southern Knox County, quarter size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. Strongest storm though is near Lagodi and Shoals in Martin County, central Martin County here in Indiana. Bloomington, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning for quarter size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. However, you guys are pretty much out of the warning at this point in time. You guys should be lightening up here pretty soon. The severe weather risk should be over for B-Town there. Moving up here to the north, I'll actually go ahead and sound the all clear for those of you asking. Really process of elimination here. If you are north of this line, you guys are in the good. This includes Indianapolis, Terre Haute, Noblesville, Muncie, and north. You guys are good. If you are south of this line, you guys are not good yet. So if you're up here, go to bed. Keep watching basketball. If you guys are in the clear, if you guys are south of here, your chances of severe weather will continue until this line of storms has impacted your locations yet, primarily southern and southeast Indiana. Yeah, Cody, if you go to our Facebook page, actually tell you what, I might be able, let me post, actually, I can throw on there a hail report thread. I have some people working here behind the scenes that might be able to do like a show us your hail reports. Might be able to put that up there, and you can do it on there. I'll see if we can get that up here for you. Otherwise, if you want to find one of our posts, you're welcome to comment on it or send us a DM at Indiana Weather Network. You can send us a DM, time, event, location, and we can get your report that way as well. Coming back on down here to southern Indiana, currently still warned for golf balls, or sorry, tennis ball size hail, as well as winds to 60 miles per hour. The worst of the hail core right in here, right where you see the black, just to the west, southwest of Shoals, moving near Lacey, south and along US 50. This is where the worst of the hail core is. This is going to come very close to Shoals and Lacey. Likely coming into Shoals right about now, with the strongest hail core just on the south side of town, perhaps up to 2 inches diameter associated with that. Turning back on our spatter spike here, yeah. Oh yeah, you can see the hail core here right in here associated with this cell. Lines up very nice with reflectivity here. And you can see the hail core right in here. Moving into Lacey right now, and the south side of Shoals also included on that spatter spike there. This is hail up to 2 inches in diameter, as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. This is moving into Lacey and Shoals at this point in time, moving east at 50 miles per hour. Looking at our updraft, our VIL, very healthy updraft here associated with this storm too. Strongest is just on the south side of Shoals, basically Shoals and south. So Pleasant Valley, Lacey, Henderson Falls also getting included on these very large hailstones as well. Just to the north of South Martin and Rusk, coming near looks like Natchez, Roland, Scarlett, all under the gun here for tennis ball size hail, at least golf ball size hail, with a few larger stones perhaps mixing their way down to the ground. But this storm is currently moving off to the east at 50 miles per hour. Hail up to 2 inches in diameter, as well as 60 mile per hour winds. And here is what we call a spatter spike, or a TBSS. This is the hail core showing up on what we call correlation coefficient. Basically, it differentiates raindrops from other objects, whether that's debris from a tornado or, in this case, hail. It shows up on here all the same. So right where you see the concentration of these different colors here associated with our core, this is our hail core right in here. A nice concentration of very large hailstones falling down to the ground within the core of this storm. And this is hail up to 2 inches in diameter, as well as 60 mile per hour winds. So we're going to have to see if we get a downstream warning here for the French Lick area, as well as the Paoli area. Kind of surprised there's not a downstream warning yet, but we'll probably see one here pretty soon as this storm moves through Martin County. Going back up here to the north, go back to one screen here, make it a little bit easier on you. We have severe thunderstorm warnings stretching from Wayne County, Richmond, Indiana. Quarter size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. These storms right in here have weakened significantly. So coming into the Connorsville area, Union County, Fayette County, looking okay right now. Coming back down towards Greensburg, Indiana, this line of storms here. Quarter size hail, as well as 60 mile per hour winds. Seymour, Indiana, now under a severe thunderstorm warning for this line of storms. 60 mile per hour winds, as well as quarter size hail. So basically, if you're north of the considerable warning, you're a baseline warning. 60 mile per hour winds, as well as quarter size hail. And the forward motion on these storms is east at 65 miles per hour. So these storms are moving quite quickly across the state of Indiana. Our considerable warning is still warned for 2 inches in diameter, as well as 60 mile per hour winds. So it's tennis ball size hail, as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. And this is observed by Emergency Management. Source Emergency Management. This is moving east at 50 miles per hour. And looks like we just posted a hail report thread online. So if you have any hail reports, feel free to find that post and comment your time, event, location, the time that the hailstones fell to your best ability, as well as where they fell at. We can relay that information to the National Weather Service, and they can log that as well, as long as you give your time, event, location, the time it occurred, where it occurred, and the estimated size. Have a reference. Have a coin next to it, a ruler next to it. All great tools to measure hailstones. A hailstone on a counter by itself with nothing to gauge on it is really hard to tell what size it is. So have a unit of measurement near it, whether that's a coin or a ruler, all great tools for measuring hailstones. Golf ball size hail in Cannelberg. That was back here in Davies County. Thank you for that report. That was from this storm here, currently warned for 2-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. No downstream warning on it yet, so I wonder if this storm is starting to weaken just a little bit. Go ahead and turn on our updraft here to take a look at that. Still has a healthy updraft on it, according to radar. So I would still plan on at least quarter size hail, perhaps a few larger stones, perhaps ping pong ball size hail, maybe golf balls could still be mixing down to the ground. But currently 2-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and this storm is starting to move out of the warning box here. So going to be interesting here to see if we get a downstream warning for the Paoli area, French Lick, Indiana. I believe this is Orange County. Going to have to keep an eye on this as well. Lots of downstream warnings here. This is for 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Basically, all of these orange boxes here from Shelbyville, Greensburg, Indiana, Seymour, Indiana, all for 60-mile-per-hour winds as well as quarter-size hail. For this large line of storms which are moving across south central Indiana and southeast Indiana. If you are north of this line, which includes Indianapolis, Muncie, Terre Haute, you guys are in the clear. Go to bed. Keep watching basketball. You guys are good to go for the night. If you're south of this line, keep an eye on it as this line is still moving across south and southeast Indiana. But still a large hail core south of the Shoals area, moving in to the French Lick area, as well as the Paoli area. Currently moving up here to the north towards the Nashville, Indiana area, Brown County, Columbus, Nineveh, under a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Kind of see all these kind of individual updrafts within the line here. These individual cores could have some pockets up to quarter-size hail falling. Not everybody's going to see that, but there could be individual pockets of quarter-size hail as well. Hoosier National Forest. Anywhere you see these like little pink cores, these are intense downbursts where you could have hail sizes of nickel to quarter-size hail, as well as bursts of wind, perhaps up to quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. And that's basically the story here up and down this line as well. So ping pong ball size hail. So this warning was downgraded from 2 inches to 1.5 inches. Not a significant downgrade. Ping pong ball size hail can still do some serious damage. It can injure people and animals caught without shelter. It can also dent or crack windshields or break windows as well. So this includes the Paoli area and French Lick area. This is for northeastern Du Bois County as well as Orange County. And when I say Du Bois County, I mean like a sliver of Du Bois County, with the worst of the hail core staying in Martin County and Orange County. So Jasper, Indiana, Huntingtonburg, your EAS systems are likely sounding. However, just know if you're in Jasper or Huntingburg, you're okay at this point in time. This storm is moving north of Patoka Lake towards French Lick and Paoli in Orange County. This is ping pong ball size hail and winds up to 50 miles per hour. More of a hail maker than a wind threat with this thunderstorm here. This storm is moving to the east-southeast at 50 miles per hour. This is radar indicated. People and animals outdoors will be injured. If caught without shelter, expect damage to roof, siding, and trees. All other warnings are currently baseline severe thunderstorm warnings, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. And these storms have weakened quite a bit coming into the Connersville, Indiana. So we got Franklin County, Dearborn County, all the way to Union, Fayette County, and Wayne County under a special weather statement. Special weather statements in blue are used for storms that are strong but below severe criteria. And this is for winds to up to 40 miles per hour and penny-sized hail, which is 3/4 of an inch in diameter. So good call there by the National Weather Service in Wilmington, Ohio. Our strongest storm is still currently in Orange County and Martin County, Indiana. So we're going to stay with this one here for a little bit. If you guys have any hail reports or storm reports, feel free to let me know. Love seeing what's going on at your location. A lot of lightning going on here tonight. I mean, these storms are just absolutely electric across Indiana. These are loud storms across the state here this evening. So very, very noisy storms across the state of Indiana. You can see the hail core here going to be coming right into French Lick in Orange County. Going to come close to the Paoli area as well. This is north of Patoka Lake near French Lick. So the worst of the hail core right along US 150, right in here where you see the black. Likely some ping pong ball size hail, 1.5 inch diameter, falling right in there, coming in the French Lick here very soon. This includes West Baden Springs, Abadale, French Lick. Looks like we have a golf course in this area, Indiana Railway Museum. A lot of areas in the path here for French Lick. Hail up to ping pong ball size hail, which is 1.5 inches in diameter. Plenty large enough to crack windows, or perhaps break windows as well, especially if we get gusts of wind up to 50 miles per hour. So interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. Don't want to be near a window in these storms. So that can, if that breaks, you put yourself at risk and being susceptible to the outside elements. So interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. This storm is in southeastern Martin County, moving to Orange County. Northeastern Jasper County is under a severe thunderstorm warning for ping pong ball size hail, 50-mile-per-hour winds. However, the worst of the hail core is going to, I think, remain in Martin County and Orange County. It may barely skip into perhaps the corner of Jasper County near Hillham and Norton, perhaps graze the severe northeast portions of Jasper County, but it's primarily going to be entering Orange County at this point in time. If you're in Jasper, Huntingburg, Ferdinand, you guys are okay at this point in time. The storm is currently moving east-southeast at about 50 to 55 miles per hour. If you guys have any storm reports, feel free to let us know what you guys are seeing. A lot of lightning out here tonight across the state of Indiana. So some noisy thunderstorms, even if you're not in a severe thunderstorm warning. Nice hail core coming into the Bedford area, just past the Bedford area, south of US 50, perhaps up to quarter-size hail right in there, just across US 50, right in here, just the west or east of Terry Park and Yaqui, north of Mitchell there. Could have some quarter-size hail associated with that. Up in here, this northern portion of the line, the hail threat looks less impressive, at least on VIL, on our updrafts here. but winds up to 60 miles per hour, quarter size hail. But I think mostly we're going to see peas to nickels in this line right in here. Whoa, that went way larger than I wanted it to. They kind of glitched out there right in here. Peas to nickel size hail looks to be kind of more dominant within that portion of the line. Could have a few quarters mixing in as per the severe thunderstorm warnings. The strongest storm, though, is coming in to French Lick. Ping pong ball size hail, as well as winds up to 50 miles per hour. The storm is moving off to the east southeast at 50 to 55 miles per hour. Torrential rainfall is also occurring in a lot of these storms, so watch out for ponding and excessive rainfall within these storms as well. Currently, the hail core is near West Baden Springs, the worst of the hail core on the north side of French Lick, coming near Abadale, Turkeys, and Paoli. This is hail up to ping pong ball size hail and up to 50 mile per hour winds. Right along US 150 is where the hail core is currently going. Right where you see the black and the pink from French Lick to the US 150, right where 145 and 150 come together in Orange County. And this is going to be moving towards the Paoli area, Youngs Creek, and Chambersburg, Indiana, along 150 in Orange County. Also a nice hail core. This is a little bit behind here, but could have perhaps a few quarters mixing in just the east of Bedford. Areas to the north, 60 mile per hour winds, and perhaps up to quarter size hail. However, updrafts don't really look too overly supportive of stones quarter and larger. I'd be more inclined to say there are peas to nickels falling in this portion of the line from Shelby to Columbus, Indiana. There could be a few isolated quarters coming down, but I want to say, at least on radar, it looks to be closer to nickel size and pea size, with the largest stones in Orange County, Indiana. There is a fly in this office that I've been trying to catch for an hour and 43 minutes here. That's how long we've been live. And let's just say personal space doesn't really mean much to this housefly. It's one of the downsides of warming up into the 70s and 80s is that flies start to come out. One of my least favorite things about springtime is houseflies. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for 22 more minutes here. The storm is fully now pretty much in Orange County, Indiana, for the worst of the hazards. The storm is moving off to the east southeast at about 55 miles, or sorry, 55 miles per hour. Now, Fort Wayne, you're in the clear. Your temperatures are falling like a rock right now. No severe weather for you at all. If in fact, if you're north of this line, go to bed. You guys are good. We're the only threat for severe weather is southern and southeast Indiana from here on out for the next hour or so. Our strongest storm currently in Orange County, Indiana. Where hail up to ping pong ball sized hail is falling near French Lick and Paoli, Indiana. At 10:27 p.m., severe thunderstorms were located southeast of Shoals, moving east southeast at 50 miles per hour. This storm is now well southeast of Shoals and is currently out of Martin County, now solely in Orange County, Indiana. The worst of the hail core, there's the next radar scan coming, is near the Paoli area. Just northeast of French Lick or east of French Lick, moving right along US 150, south of Orangeville, coming into the Paoli area, right where you see the black. This is the worst of the hail core associated with this thunderstorm. Ping pong ball size hail, 1.5 inch diameter, as well as winds up to 50 miles per hour. Really need to invest in a fly swatter in the office here. I will get this fly. That I am determined to get this fly here this evening. That is a fact. Ping pong ball size hail, 50 miles per hour winds. This storm is solely in Orange County, moving southeast at 50 miles per hour. The worst of the hail core right along US 150 here, just to the north of French Lick and west of Paoli, likely going to be coming into the Paoli area probably here any minute. It is just outside of town, just to your west. Ping pong ball size hail, winds up to 50 miles per hour. Worst of the hail core right in here, right where you see the black. That is where the worst of the hail core currently is. Go ahead and switch here. Really healthy updraft here associated with this storm. Go ahead and switch to correlation coefficient to see if we have a spatter spike. Maybe a little bit of one right in here. Just to the west of the Paoli area. Kind of on the south side of this black area here. Not as big as what it once was. But there could be kind of an elongated core here with this storm. But hail up to ping pong ball size hail is possible. Go ahead and switch on velocity here just to look at our winds. A little gusty near the French Lick area. This is likely clear air here, as this is there's no rain associated with those brighter colors. Our core is right in here. Not really seeing a lot of wind, at least on radar, associated with this. There could be some gusty winds not being picked up in the core, but more of a hail threat associated with this storm. The storm is moving southeast at about 50 to 55 miles per hour. This is ping pong ball size hail, as well as winds up to 50 miles per hour. Going up here to the north, look at our other severe thunderstorm warnings. Quarter size hail, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, although looking at really our VIL here, there's some gusty winds, but it doesn't look too significant there on radar. Going back on our VIL, I really don't see quarter size hail at all in any of these. These look well below severe criteria. Kind of surprised as the warning on it, to be honest with you. From Greensburg, Indiana west, it just doesn't look impressive at all on radar and on a couple other radars here behind the scenes. I have a couple other products pulled up here. Not seeing much at all up there. The main hazards here would be the kind of two cells we have here in south central Indiana, up here in Orange County as well, and just southeast of Bedford. This one could have some quarter size hail, and the one near French Lick could have ping pong ball size hail. But if you guys are in any of these storms up here to the north from Greensburg, Columbus, Indiana, Seymour, love to know what your hail size is up here. On radar, it looks to be below severe criteria. I'd just be curious to know what you guys are seeing on the ground there. What's your likely getting some pretty large stones there, Jared, in the Paoli area? Yes, Bloomington is clear. If you guys have been impacted by these storms, go to bed. You guys are good. Currently, the strongest storm in Indiana is in Orange County, Indiana. Ping pong ball size hail is what the warning is for. Seymour, Indiana. Brownsburg, Indiana. Currently warned for quarter size hail, winds up to 60-mile-per-hour winds. The worst of the hail core coming in the Medora area, just southwest of Brownstown. The storm is moving off to the east at 60 miles per hour, so moving quite quickly. The worst of the hail core kind of right in here, crossing county lines, actually now across county lines fully, coming near the Medora area and Brownstown, Indiana area, right in here. Could have some quarter size hail moving towards Brownstown, Indiana, just to the south of Seymour. This is moving due east into Medora right now. Seymour, Indiana, likely getting some small hail. Be curious to know what hail size is coming down in Seymour. If you have any viewers from the Seymour, Indiana area, be curious to know what your hail size is on radar. Kind of in this zone here, looks to be smaller than quarters. I'd be curious to know what your hail size is there. Currently, our strongest hail core just moved through the Paoli area in Orange County, coming near Chambersburg, US 56, and the Livonia area on deck as well. Currently, severe thunderstorm for ping pong ball size hail, 50-mile-per-hour winds. This is for Orange County, Indiana. Not seeing any hail in Seymour. Thank you for that report. That pretty much confirms what radar is showing as well. Not really a lot going on. The worst of the hail core looks to be kind of coming into town right now. I'd be curious if it's just rain or if there is some pea-size hail mixing down to the ground. This is warned for quarter-size hail, but radar just doesn't show it. I hate to downplay warnings, but I really don't see much going on. Likely once the Paoli cell weakens to below severe criteria, we may hop off and just monitor stuff here behind the scenes. But currently, it's still warned for ping pong ball size hail and 50 mile per hour. But if you guys have any hail reports from ongoing storms currently, love to see your reports to know what is going on at your location. Always love seeing your reports. Helps us out greatly here behind the scenes. The strongest storm currently in Indiana is in Orange County, Indiana, south central Indiana, just to the east of the Paoli area near Chambersburg, getting perhaps hail size up to ping pong ball size hail, as well as winds up to 50 miles per hour. In fact, they've lowered this warning to now quarter size hail. So we have a baseline warning now, quarter size hail, winds up to 50 miles per hour. So all of our warnings now are baseline warnings, quarter size hail, as well as winds up to 50 to 60 miles per hour, although not a lot of wind reports on any mesonets across the state of Indiana from these storms. More of a hail threat with these storms here this evening. Evansville, Indiana, see a lot of questions down there. You guys are pretty much in the clear. We're gonna have to watch a few of these like scattered storms, but the worst of the threat is to your north and east. But can't rule out a stray thunderstorm across Posey, Vanderburgh County, Gibson County. But the worst of the storms are off to your north and east. Just rain in Brookville, Indiana. Thank you for that report. And maybe some pea-sized hail just to your north, but not really seeing much of anything. Special weather statement for you guys, though. Winds up to 45 miles per hour and penny-sized hail, 0.75 diameter. Although the hail really might be smaller than penny-sized, might be closer to pea-sized hail north side of town there. Yeah, Brooke, that's a special weather statement. So special weather statements won't go off on your radio or anything like that. These are issued by the National Weather Service when there's a strong thunderstorm, but it's not a severe thunderstorm. Is when you see special weather statements. Special weather statements are kind of a generally used based on operator preference at the National Weather Service. A lot of times you'll see them anywhere between 50 mile per hour or 55 miles per hour, all the way to about 35 miles per hour. Kind of in that zone, you'll start to see them. Kind of be issued by the National Weather Service. So for a strong storm, but not severe storm, is what we see those for. But storms as a whole are kind of weakening across Indiana. Really not too impressive at this point in time. Strongest storm is in Orange County. Baseline severe thunderstorm. This storm was producing up to tennis ball size hail in Martin County near Shoals, Lagodi, as well as Davies County. But it is now weakened to quarter size hail and winds up to 50 miles per hour. Have to see if we get a downstream statement or warning on that. That'll be up to the National Weather Service. I believe Louisville, Indiana would be the WFO in charge of this area here. Beautiful light show in Azalea, says Melissa. Yeah, these storms, even if they're not severe in your area, they are producing a crap ton of lightning. These storms are just downright electric tonight across Indiana. So that is one thing in common with no matter where you're at within these storms. There's a lot of lightning associated with it. Definitely lighting up the sky in many areas here tonight. And they're quite loud too in some areas as well. A lot of intercloud lightning, icy lightning, and cloud to ground lightning as well. So this warning is being trimmed back without a downstream warning. So perhaps this storm is perhaps maybe weakening below severe criteria. That'll be up to the National Weather Service to see if we get a downstream warning for the Salem area or not. You have to watch that here closely. Severe thunderstorm warning for the Vernon area here in Indiana. Quarter size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. This is for southern Decatur County, southeastern Jackson County, as well as Jennings County, southeast Indiana, till 11:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Some small hail being reported here, up to quarter size hail. Be interesting though if there are truly quarters mixing their way down to the ground. I haven't seen too many reports up in this area of large hailstones of severe criteria making their way down to the ground. A lot of peas, dimes, and nickels is what I've been seeing per the reports. Currently, our cold front is draped right about in here. If you're north of this line, temperatures are dropping quite quickly. We're in the 30s across northern Indiana. It's downright cold. Wind chills are in the 20s up in here already, and we're still hanging out in the 60s and 70s down here. Some areas are going to drop as much as 30 plus degrees in 3 hours here this evening, and all of Indiana will be in the 30s by tomorrow morning. But the good news is we warm up above freezing during the day tomorrow. 40s and 50s expected across Indiana, much of Indiana. Upper 30s across far northern Indiana. So closer to average for this time of year over the next couple of days. But the overall severe threat seems to be downtrending quite a bit, turning into just kind of a messy rain across Indiana. And there we go. National Weather Service in Louisville has deemed this storm as below severe criteria. Nickel size hail, it winds up to 40 miles per hour. Nickel size hail is 0.88 in diameter, so just above pennies, and winds up to 40 miles per hour. So this is below severe criteria, and a lot of these storms are well below severe criteria as well. I'm actually kind of surprised there's still warnings on them, if I'm being honest with you. I hate downplaying warnings, but I really don't see much going on. I haven't seen the reports to justify them either. So we are probably almost done with our severe weather coverage here in Indiana. So these storms are kind of really messy in origin, and there you can see a lot of blue being replaced here. Special weather statements here tonight. So if you're in this zone here, likely going to see heavy rain, lightning, hail to penny to nickel size hail. But the severe weather threat is much lower than what it was a little bit ago. So with that being said, now that our storms are going below severe criteria, probably going to hop off here and end our coverage. We're going to head and monitor things here behind the scenes, but our storms are falling below severe criteria. If you are in southeast Indiana, could have some heavy rain, lightning, but our storms look to be falling mainly below severe criteria. There are some baseline severe thunderstorm warnings still for quarter size hail, but I think for the most of us, we're going to see between P's and nickels and winds to 35 to 45 miles per hour. So with that being said, we're going to head and monitor things here behind the scenes. If you are north across central Indiana, northern Indiana, you guys are good. Cold front is coming through. We're going to see temperatures drop. Winds are going to shift out of the north. We'll all be in the 30s here by tomorrow morning. But good news is we warm up above freezing across the state of Indiana tomorrow, closer to average for this time of year over the next couple of days. We'll see more 50s and upper 40s across Indiana, more typical for March versus what we saw today. Even a few areas making a run at close to 90 degrees today. It got downright hot across portions of central Indiana, southern Indiana today. It will not feel hot tomorrow, I promise you, but it will be closer to average for this time of year. So with that being said, probably going to hop off here, and we'll continue to monitor things here behind the scenes. Here's a last look at radar here. Go ahead and circle it here. If you're in this area here, could have some showers and thunderstorms. Main risk, hail up to quarter size. However, I think the primary hazards are going to be pea size to nickel size hail, winds 35 to 45 miles per hour. The severe weather risk is much lower than what it was earlier here today. We'll continue to monitor things behind the scenes, and if something goes too crazy, we'll jump back on and go live. But for now, we're going to go ahead and hop off and monitor radar here behind the scenes. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday night here. Hope your brackets are doing well, and I hope you guys have a great work week here this week.